Everything. Desktop, that's black. YouTube's at a decent value. We'll turn it down just slightly. I think we'll be fine there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just watch me scratch my arm. Do it. Do it.
Can you hear my fan screaming?
I cannot.
Okay, good.
So that's one beautiful thing I've learned about this mic and the directional, and then once you can go in and do the filters, especially for stream, so you can really turn down the background noise stuff, I'm like, nice. It's so much better.
Yeah, I thought I'd set it so that it wouldn't pick it up, but just wanted to make sure. I should have asked before we went live, but
I just get so
but I guess there was, since there was no issues before.
And you know I was aware of it because I made those subtle changes, and you know you make subtle changes with any of this stuff and it ruins everything, so I was paying attention.
Yeah.
But I love paying attention.
Every damn time, man.
I love paying attention because I will sit there watching Discord. I'll watch for the green light to pop up around the screen as I'm sitting there like eating chips. I'm like, if I just sit back and I'm eating chips and I'm not right by the mic, I'm like, cool, it doesn't pick it up.
Nope.
Technology, man.
No chips.
It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. There was another episode. Not just another episode of AEW Dynamite, but the last one before Forbidden Door. I'm just saying, that guy over there.
Range of motions.
And again, we are Top Rope Tokes, here to talk to you about this week's AEW Dynamite. Before we go any further, just to kind of throw it out there. Again, well, this week I probably will not be able to be around for Collision. I have a wedding in the middle of the afternoon, so probably not happening. Because of that, I'll probably be preparing for said wedding come Friday night, and I'll probably watch Rampage, but you will not see me here. Then the following week, that man will be gone.
Yep. I will be, hopefully I'll be inside of a cave. Not like figuratively, like an actual cave.
You're gonna be like Aaron Rodgers in the NFL all season, hiding out in the darkness doing ayahuasca.
Okay.
I
just wouldn't want to hang out with Aaron Rodgers though, as long as he's not there.
Random question for you, unrelated to wrestling. Do you think we would hate Aaron Rodgers less if he wasn't a Green Bay Packer? If he was out of division?
100%. Just, I would hate him a little bit less. Let's see. Because also, there also would have to be the factor that he wouldn't have been a Packer to beat the Steelers, and the Steelers would have got that Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And
So you have more on the line with it than I do.
so if that doesn't happen, then yeah, I have no issues with Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's a bit of a douche, it seems like, but other than that, but honestly, I wouldn't care if he hadn't been beating up on the Lions for the last 10 years.
I think I still would have made fun of him because he basically went from like ultimate hips, or at some point it was hipster, at some point it was porn stash. Like, it was just too easy to kind of be like, fucking Aaron Rodgers for a while.
He's having fun with it. I think he knows. I feel like he's trolling at this point.
So I've got some bad news for you, because usually we talk about this a little bit before we get to it, but that's how we usually start off our show, with the good, the bad, the ugly of AEW Dynamite. I have zero thoughts on any of them at the moment. I am looking as much as I can very, very quickly.
I can give you my good.
Go on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just because it's just because it was fun. Papa Briscoe choke slamming Jay Lethal into the table, man. That's my good of the night. That was pretty tight. And that whole thing that he just goes on this old man running everybody over thing. He's like, yeah, barely moving his body, but everybody's just falling at his feet, basically.
Until he gets kicked in the dick by Karen Jarrett.
Karen Jarrett kicked him in the dick to end it. How fitting. Nobody but Karen Jarrett can stop Papa Briscoe.
Hey, man. She started all the interference in that match, and she ended all... No, she didn't end all the interference in that match, because Satnam still came out after. Speaking of choke slams.
Oh, yeah, that was nasty.
And I don't even know how much of that was on him and how much it was on Mark. I think it's a combination too. But the way Mark landed, he landed high on his back and from really, really high up.
From like basketball rim in the air. Because Satnam Singh can dunk without leaving the ground. He just...
he should be basically right there.
Yep.
Might have to get on his toes.
Yeah, it was like if I'm assuming he can dunk without leaving the ground, because I'm gonna guess that man's arms. He's over 7 feet. I'm gonna guess that his arms are like 3 feet long.
And you take away like a foot up to his head, it's still another 2 feet. So basically, he's gonna be just going like this, closing in on 10 feet.
Yep. Yeah, there was a series of dope choke slams in there.
In my head, once you mentioned chokeslam and I got to that point with Satnam, I thought about using that as my good, because that was one of those few times tonight, wrestling wise, that I was like, ooh. But I'm not. We, in some ways, we paid attention to this almost every single show in some kind of fashion. How much we make of it is a different story. I feel like tonight's crowd was really, really good throughout the entirety of the show. Made it more fun.
Yeah, the crowd stayed fairly hot throughout the whole thing.
Karen Jarrett got major heat with big fuck you, Karen. I'm pretty sure just with Karen being termed for let me speak to your manager now.
Yeah.
We people overused the Karen thing, and now it's just like any lady that's not happy.
Or anytime somebody's unhappy about someone, they use it against them. Just throw it out. Now, here, I want to leave this to you, because if you remember it, I know you know it, but there was that certain chant tonight that was a little bit different, and you're probably never going to hear it again on a wrestling screen. You know which one I'm talking about, sir?
Oh yeah, zip your pants. or what was it?
Zip
I
your
forgot it
pants, I
was zip your.
believe.
Yeah, I think it was zip your pants. Yeah, zip your pants. The crowd was chanting Garcia, or zip your fly is what they were chanting.
Hey,
Zip your fly,
I
zip your fly.
I know you like to make your ugly sometimes about fashion. I hope I did not just ruin that by bringing that up a little bit early.
Yeah, you fucked me up. You fucked me real hard
So
there.
we won't explain this anymore right now. There's more to say about that situation.
Yeah.
Um, my bad. I can't really think of a specific thing or an ugly really. I don't know.
I got a bad for you.
Go ahead.
This tag team tourney thing that wasn't really explained all too well.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, we're choosing teams for this tag team tournament thing. Partners being chosen at random.
I kept seeing advertisement for the blind tag team eliminator tournament or whatever it's called in full, but I never really saw anything in details. I thought it might have been just like luck of the draw of of like who's gonna face who.
Right. Like I was thinking that they were gonna explain that a little bit better beforehand. So it took me a minute to figure out what the hell was really going on.
I appreciate that too, because it just reminded me about the segment, because it was the most nothing segment outside of the fact that you kind of got the rules, which is, hey, we're going to randomly draw all sorts of random superstars, doesn't matter who it is, and they will team up.
Mm-hmm.
We found out the one annoying team that they drew in that segment a little bit later in the night, with it being MJF and Adam Cole. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later. You know what? For bad, I guess I'll go with this.
Give it to me.
They still have refused to make it entirely clear what the relationship is between Don Callis and Takeshita with the BCC.
Because I thought it was a little bit more cut and dry today.
It looked like at first that they were going to add them together, but then there was still even a point in Mox's promo where they kind of referred to like us and them. Because he was like, yeah, they're teaming up with the Truth, like with the BCC kind of thing. So I'm like, and then with Don a little bit later talking to Will, I'm like, he's not going to bring Will into that too. So I'm like, what the hell is going on still?
No, so what I think is actually happening here is they're just loosely affiliated with the BCC. They're going to be doing their own damn thing. It's basically they've got their own little feud with the Elite, even though they're all feuding with the Elite right now. But I think they're going to do their own thing, and the BCC are just like, yeah, you're with us. Go ahead and do what you want to do. It's like, you guys have already bled with us. Like they all showed up to the interview here wearing black. You know,
it kind of feels like Don is using
called Takeshita tall, dark, and sexy. That's his homeboy now, man.
So it's almost like he's just like using these guys. Like Don's feud is simply with Kenny. BCC was already in a feud with all of the Elite. So it's like your enemy, the enemy of my enemy. Yeah. And then of course that also brings Ospreay into it. So
now that's where I think the real outlier is that Ospreay is definitely not going to be a BCC member, but for him it'll be definitely the enemy of my enemy kind of thing.
Possibly, who knows? Maybe they'll just continue to be like Don and Takeshita, but they'll always have loose affiliations with people who don't like other people. Like, oh, this is who we're fighting now? Who did they fight last week? Let's talk to them.
Because it's like, like how the Guns are not in the firm, but they're still down to do stuff with them, basically.
I think they're fully on par to be in Bullet Club Gold at this point.
Now they're definitely, that was an example, but
Yeah.
you know, they're definitely Bullet Club Gold now. But yeah, but you get the point.
Um,
Yeah,
because I
and
don't
if we
really.
want to go, well, I was just gonna say if we want to go into the ugly.
I don't really have one, so I was just going to use a joke that somebody made about themselves. At the end of the night, Eddie's out in the ring. He's like, "Excuse me, I gotta put a shirt on. I just had surgery, and I've been eating way too much ice cream." So for my ugly is Eddie Kingston making fun of his own body.
Eddie Kingston talking about his ugly body.
I mean, even for technical difficulties, about the only thing they had was like extra echo or feedback when Renee was first in the ring for like 1 second. It was technically so much better than most weeks.
Yep. They did a pretty good job. They did a pretty good job. So, as you know, my ugly tends to be fashion related, unless if it's something that I am very pissed about. Um, you already kind of alluded to it earlier. So Daniel Garcia, the crowd was chanting "Zip your fly" at that man today. His fly was not down. He just ripped his pants right in the crotch, like early on in the match. And kudos to him for continuing to go with his like completely opened up pants with his underwear showing underneath.
So
I
even the
mean, I guess he's a
commentary,
wrestler, so undies are gonna show. But yeah, that was hilarious.
even commentary had to
And
talk about it.
I think that I really want to believe that he ripped his pants while vigorously humping Orange Cassidy's face. Like,
It, yeah,
I really want to believe that that's exactly when it happened because it was around that time.
it was because that happened during commercial break, and then also, it's when we came out of commercial break and commentary had a comment on it. And they had to because they were showing Garcia doing his little dance with his hips and everything from the front, so that's you could clearly see it. They said, "Oh, coming out of commercial break," they said it happened sometime during the commercial. So same commercial break, it happened somewhere close in time.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to believe that that's exactly when that happened. And if so, goddamn Garcia, you humped your way out of your pants, dog. How you do that? Oh,
So he's decided because with the pay-per-view and all these new shows coming up and before the pay-per-view, I want to do something tonight a little bit different, which is we're going to kind of do a speed run down through the matches, quick overall hitting opinions, quick moments, and then move to the next one, move to the next one, move to the next one. And by doing so, kind of give us time to openly chat about different things that we have thoughts on in general, kind of have free flowing conversation. And if anyone's in the stream right now watching or comes in later, watches VOD, this way allows us to have easier conversation with you.
yeah.
Or that was just killing time to let you finish your drink and not die.
Oh, I feel good now.
So, kicking off tonight's show, instead of our usual suspect in Orange Cassidy, we had the Hardys, which I still want to call them the Hardy Boys whenever they're together, versus the Guns.
They are the hardy old men, okay?
But at the same time, I have successfully been able to drop the Gun Club and just say the Guns.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, it's I mean, it took me almost a year to stop saying ass boy every time.
can still do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I did really well just by moving to gun.
So with this, Guns end up winning after some interference from the Bullet Club Gold towards the end, when Jeff Hardy was about to hit a swanton for the win. That happened. What'd you think of the match overall?
Yeah, it was fine. I feel like it had. I feel like the match was overshadowed. The whole purpose of the match was to set up everything after the match.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it that's how the match felt, is like it was there just to set something up. So it was fine for what it was.
Which what you're referring to is with Bullet Club Gold out there already. They continue to attack the Hardy until Ricky Starks comes out. After Starks comes out, the numbers get the best of him. FTR runs out. There's the numbers game is still getting the best of them slightly. Crowd is waiting forever and forever.
Yeah, like it's taking forever. We're like, everybody in the world by this point knows that CM Punk is coming out. It's just like, come on, dude. How long are you gonna let your boys get whooped on
The entire
before
crowd's
you
like
come out?
staring at the
Like,
stage, chanting forever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
on.
There was an awkwardly long chant for CM Punk before he came out.
After they came out and they cleared the house, he basically issues a challenge for a 4-on-4 match for Collision.
Yeah,
Yay, Collision.
collision match. Yeah.
Then I'll miss.
At least this one won't feel like how the main event of the first collision was just like a thrown together match that was really long.
Because now you have a little bit more rhyme and reason to it.
Yeah, now there's a reason for this, so I'm cool with it. Let's do it.
Next up, we had Jeff Jarrett, ain't he great, against Mark Briscoe in the concession stand brawl match. I'm sure my first note on this match is probably the same thing that you remember first in this match, so have fun.
Oh yeah, first note in this match is definitely when Mark Briscoe threw all the glizzies at Jeff, and and when I say all the glizzies, I mean all of them. Like every single one at that hot dog stand was tossed at Jeff Jarrett.
Dude, it's like the gift that everybody uses about a woman when guys are coming at her left and right. It was just literally probably 20 hot dogs at a time
with wieners. Just wieners all over Jeff Jarrett.
So while they're up in the stands, this is the first time Karen sneaks up when Mark has this the advantage and she sprays stuff in his eyes. It was kind of dark looking. It might have been ketchup, but it probably was more something like a barbecue sauce, I feel like, coloring.
Yeah, I thought it was like mayo ketchup because the bottle looked like it was like ketchup but lighter. But yeah, when she was spraying it out, it looked a little bit darker. So I don't know.
Which the only reason I even point this out is because the crowd, even though you're in the concourse and everything, you can hear the crowd chanting "Fuck you, Karen."
Yeah, she might have got one of the loudest reactions, other than when the coin dropped.
And then
she might have got the loudest reaction.
Commentary awkwardly, there's somebody else that sneaks up in all like black and a hat, mask, and everything else, and they're like, "Is that Karen Jarrett again?" It was Sanjay. Pushing Mark Briscoe off the table through a spot. But you talked about a little bit earlier. Nice Papa Briscoe spot, hitting a choke slam through a table on Jay Lethal, of all people. I would have expected maybe on Sanjay Dutt.
No, Jay Lethal's going to be able to take it better, because you think an old man's going to need somebody that can jump up and make him look better as he's doing it.
Wait,
Jay's that guy.
Do you not know the history of Sanjay Dutt? He was like an elite cruiserweight, dude.
Oh, well, he don't look like one anymore. He looks like an elite pencil pusher now.
He's one of those early TNA guys, which is kind of how they know each other, because they were always around each other. Mark Briscoe's able to win with a roll up after like everybody in the world came out in the most overbooked thing ever.
Yes.
Overall thoughts? How'd you feel about it?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Fun for a Jeff Jarrett match, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was fun. I don't want to see it again. Like, stop doing this Jarrett Briscoe thing real soon. But yeah, it was all right.
I'm surprised they didn't
But
make
we
them.
had half the roster come out. It felt like at the end that we were doing Anarchy in the Arena.
So honestly, I thought I put this in my notes, but I said it to you while we were watching it. CM Punk comes to AEW and FTR completely forgets about their friend Mark Briscoe. It's literally only been like 3 weeks, dude.
Hey, hey, they found a new friend. They found a more popular friend.
Speaking of popular people, here was the BCC video backstage where they're challenging Elite to a 5-on-5, and we're sitting there confused because Danielson already has his own match, and they had Takeshi. I'm like, but that leaves the Elite with 3. We figured out real quick, Eddie, in another video segment later, that was confirmed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. By the way, BCC's 5th is Shota Umino, of course. But that was cool. But yeah, they were like, "Oh, we're challenging the Elite at Forbidden Door."
Yeah.
But you called it right away, though.
But it makes sense. He was in the fight.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of who would be close to Eddie, and then you think about it with it's Forbidden Door. They should have somebody from New Japan on the team too.
Has to be in New Japan. And then we were like, no, it couldn't be Kota, because you wouldn't do Kota without having Kenny in the match.
Yeah, he's gonna be more directly involved with him. So the only thing I could think of was how last year when we got to see Eddie versus Ishii and how much that like he idolized him and loves that man, even though they're not the closest of people. Because Eddie said he's bringing in someone he doesn't really trust, but he trusts him more than the Elite.
Oh, yeah.
It's my best guess because I don't know a whole lot of them.
That was a good guess. A good ass guess. Because I don't know who any of them are either. Other than the ones that we've seen already in AEWs.
Next, we had a trios match with Sammy, Chris Jericho, and Minoru Suzuki versus AR Fox, Action Andretti, and Darius Martin.
AKA the we don't know what to do with them crew.
That happens when you watch Dante Martin's ankle go about 5 different ways.
Yeah.
My first note on this is just Suzuki and Jericho doing the Sammy and Jericho pose together.
That was pretty nice. Jericho's spin, not as smooth as Sammy's, but you know, I like the pairing with Suzuki.
I didn't even think about that part, that the roles were reversed. I did not even think about that.
Yeah. Well, if Suzuki did the spin, I would have lost it. I would have absolutely lost it if he did the spin.
Did not even think about it. I feel like a lot of this match was just again to set up what was after the match, which was basically Renee asking Jericho about how it was monumental. Nobody ever seen him and Sting in the same ring before. Says Sting, like, he was excited. He's known Sting for a long time. He's greedy, selfish, blah blah blah. He shows up for the highest bidder. He calls Sting a whore. But they challenge him to a 6-man tag match for Forbidden Door. Keeps running down Jericho until Sting's music hits. Basically accepts it, and we're gonna find out who the third member of their team is on Collision. So that's gonna be the one big like last thing to drop on Collision.
Mm-hmm. Any ideas?
I forgot to Google. I meant to Google it when we're away.
I couldn't remember who they teamed with last year.
If he hasn't officially had his last match, Great Muta makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
But if he officially had his last match.
But yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure they were involved in his last match. I thought I heard about that somewhere. I don't know.
Next, we had the stupid blind tag team drawing thing.
Yeah.
Waste of a segment.
It was a segment to help out the Adam Cole MJF segment. That was it. At the time, though, I was like, come on.
By the way, his last match was listed to be in February, so yeah, he's done unless they manage to pull out one major surprise.
Yep. Yep. So it'll be somebody else.
Technically, after this was the Elite video, but we already covered it because of other stuff earlier. So we can jump right into the whole Adam Cole MJF thing because it's story time with Adam Cole. Baby. Says he gets it. MJF said it was a smart thing to do to say no to the extra 5 minutes, but he wants to point out that he has MJF never beat him. Out comes MJF. He talks about Adam Cole having so many head injuries he can't even keep track of time, and everybody knows MJF was about to beat Adam Cole. Cue good crowd chant again.
Bullshit.
And this is when Tony goes to interrupt them both, gets on the mic, pops up, as is like, what the fuck are you doing, Tony?
He's like, I have something really nerdy to say to you guys.
But in stereo.
Like that's probably so much fun telling Tony Schiavone to shut up.
And they timed that well. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was really good.
And we haven't seen Adam Cole be that way towards Tony ever since he came back as a face. As a heel, hell yes.
Yeah. Tony, shut up.
Tony announces they are the first randomly thrown together for the blind tag team eliminator tournament. They go on line of.
You want me to wrestle every week? What are you, some kind of sick pervert?
The most I laughed the entire night, and there was fun little things throughout the entirety of the night. But MJF saying that
wrestle every week. You're some kind of sick pervert. What?
They don't want to wrestle with each other, and then Tanahashi shows up on the screen and once again lays down the challenge for MJF. Adam Cole has to goad him into it after, and after MJF accepts it, he gives him like that big pat on the shoulder and says, "Good luck, partner."
Yep, you got this, bud. I'm out.
Next was Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr., the Mr. Oops, I Ripped My Pants. Daniel Garcia. During corner punches.
Big Larry came in and I forgot how the rest of the song goes.
First note is during the commercial, during some corner punches, Garcia just face fucks Orange Cassidy.
That was intense. The fact that the match did not start until the commercial break, and then most of the commercial break was just Garcia humping Orange Cassidy's face. It was
even before he humped AEW, he was right up in there.
Yeah, like AEW, what the heck? Yeah, but yeah, his balls were like dragged across Orange Cassidy's face today, and Orange Cassidy better be getting paid. That's all I gotta say, because you ain't about to drag your balls off of my face like that.
Considering the 4 wrestlers that were in the match, it was a good match, and it helped set up to the announcement that was right after, because Orange Cassidy accidentally hits the orange punch on his partner Shibata, which allows Garcia to pin him, while Zack Sabre Jr. has Orange Cassidy in knee bar. They announce a 4-way match at Forbidden Door for the international title, and they all basically hold on to the belt for way too long.
Yeah, so does that count as taking the champ's belt and losing? So does that mean for sure Orange Cassidy wins?
I feel like this is not the time to have him lose. The match literally was just made.
Yeah.
Hasn't been like the proper. I mean, you have a little bit of build with Daniel Garcia, but not necessarily to this specific match here.
I don't think so either. But I feel like it has to be soon. As much as I don't mind him carrying that title, I see it's coming soon. It's gotta.
Rewind to back a few weeks. It should have been Swerve. Speaking of title matches, next on the card, and actually our main event match of the night was Taya Valkyrie versus Chris Statlander. My only notes about this was pretty solid, good match overall. I love Taya's running German suplex that she slides out to the ring, but Statlander wins with Wednesday Night Fever. Any big feelings on this way out of the way? I don't feel like it was mediocre, but it was good.
It was good. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Is I told you during what I felt like is if this match had some kind of build up other than Taya standing in the back being angry, watching everything Statlander does, that this would have been this would have felt like more, but it didn't really, because the feud was just, oh, Taya's in the back watching Chris Statlander win another match, and she doesn't like it.
So the end of the show, which they made it seem like there was going to be two segments: Eddie announcing the tag team partner for Forbidden Door, and then Danielson calling out Okada. But in reality, it starts with Eddie coming out, dropping the line about saying, "I got to put a shirt on. I got hurt and ate too much ice cream lately after surgery." Basically, he talks about Mox being mad because he's teaming with the Bugs, who he doesn't like, but it was Mox who chose to team up with Claudio. Mox eventually makes his way to the ring, saying that Eddie drew the line at Forbidden Door. Eddie says no, he did by teaming with Claudio. They don't really say a whole lot of anything, but then the BCC attacks. Danielson starts talking shit.
Danielson talking mad shit.
Yeah, trying to remember.
He's gonna stomp Ishii's face in.
Oh yeah, because that
doesn't come down here.
Because yeah, he announced Ishii as the partner.
The coin drops as soon as he gets done saying, "I'm gonna kick his face in if Okada doesn't come down," and then ting.
Of course, the number game works out a little bit because Wheeler Yuta has Okada set up so Danielson can hit a psycho knee, but Okada gets out of the way. He hits Yuta, goes for the Rainmaker on Danielson. He escapes and runs away, and little Yuta, I can't remember what's the name. What do I call him usually? And they even called him that way on TV. Something about him being the annoying bastard or something like that.
I don't know. They called him a little shit.
Little shit. That's what it was. Yeah. So after all the big pins, and the little shit eats the Rainmaker to end the show.
Yeah, that was it's an interesting segment. First off, honorable mention for ugly was Eddie Kingston being dressed up like a Westland dad, because those jeans came from Kmart, and you can't tell me they didn't.
I mean, they gotta be pretty old at this point then. We haven't had one around here for a bit.
This said Eddie Kingston's jeans came from Kmart. He saved them bad boys.
So
he's been waiting to wear those Kmart jeans. What?
Rampage? Seems like a decent Rampage, although we saw one match to be excited about, but also disappointed at the same time. Swerve. Was that Rampage or Collision?
Collision.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't put Okada on or Tanahashi on Collision.
There were
Rampage.
Man, there's stuff on Rampage this week. MJF's not gonna appear on Rampage for the first time ever.
Yeah, he's gonna talk. I mean, they set up everything for him already, so nothing's gonna really move along. It's just gonna be like, yo, MJF's on Rampage for the first time ever.
I feel like there's a couple other things I can't remember. Oh, because Rampage has Swerve with United Empire and with Jeff Cobb, and that's what that match was. He's with them by himself. I do not remember who they're facing. It could have been Best Friends and Lucha Bros for all I remember.
I didn't catch that part. I had just gotten to I was like, ooh, Swerve Tanahashi. And then I was like, oh, another loss for Swerve.
So much to be excited about, but
he's not legit if he keeps losing so much.
I'm gonna pull up real quick to see if they posted graphics for Rampage on like Twitter yet to be able to tell you exactly what the card's gonna be, but for the most part I'm just seeing a lot of the clips from tonight's show so far.
So yeah, I have no. I think there's who else is there's a talking segment from somebody else other than MJF.
So, kind of skipping ways to see if maybe I can find it. We did get the brackets announced for the Owen.
Yes, we did.
Forgetting all necessarily the matchups, we're basically betting on a finals for the women of Ruby versus Willow.
Yeah, we're banking on Ruby versus Willow because it's Ruby has Britt Baker in the first round, and usually you don't bet against Britt, but she's already 1-0, and
they have an ongoing
the other
thing that kind of wrapped up.
Yeah, like the other side of that is Sky Blue versus Anna Jay, and I just don't see Anna Jay being the one that they give the win there,
but also
over Sky Blue. So if you give Sky Blue the win, then it has to be Ruby over Britt.
And Ruby, but also Sky just pinned Ruby, so Ruby can pin Sky back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the best story from the other side, if it's going to be Ruby from that side, it's got to be Willow, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, it's Willow versus Nyla Rose, and I already Athena versus Billy Starks. Two people that are completely like unrelated to AEW for the most part.
Yep. So this is what's going to happen here. So yeah, Willow obviously gets the win on Nyla Rose, and Athena gets the win on Billy Starks. So that means Willow's going to get her run back on Athena, as they've faced each other for the ROH Women's title on Ring of Honor TV previously, which was a fire match. But Willow's going to get her win this time.
No title on the line, so it doesn't hurt anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, Willow gets the rematch win, and then she faces Ruby in the final. Willow's already holding a belt, so they're just going to give Ruby that win.
And then maybe Ruby gets a shot for that title, and that's when Willow can maybe get a win back. Because then you kind of got like that built-in story going there. I'm trying to pull up the men's side real quick. I do know on one side you are going to have... Sorry.
You're going to have wrestling!
I didn't know it would come up. You got Punk versus Kojima, because it still said it was mute when I clicked it. It just automatically started. A lot of times I have to unmute it. Punk versus Kojima, Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe, Dustin Rhodes versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Juice versus Ricky. So Ricky versus Hobbs, Punk versus Joe.
That's what I think. Ricky Hobbs, yeah. Because, yeah, that makes your best Final Four.
Punk wins, but...
Punk beating Joe.
I know you said Ricky.
I don't think they would put Hobbs in the final. Because they clearly don't think very highly of Hobbs. Like, they put a belt on him, yes, but they treated him like the worst, like he was the worst AEW champion ever.
I will say this much. I do remember CM Punk specifically singling out that he wants to work with Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay.
And we kind of know that Punk gets to call his shots in a number of ways, especially if he wins. I guess the real question is, does CM Punk win the whole damn thing? Mister,
if it's going to be Hobbs, then yes. If it's Ricky, then I think Ricky.
Punk is right there with FTR, and FTR loves Bret Hart, and so does Punk to an extent, but not as vocally. So hey, now let's go with the Owen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Maybe that's just my heart telling me that it's got to be Ricky.
Let's see, Adam Cole and Britt Baker last year, so It's not that they necessarily use it to make stars like a King of the Ring type spot.
Right.
It can be established people.
Mm-hmm.
My ideal situation, my ideal
It's
situation.
Stone Cold. Get that piece of crap out of my ring.
Samoa Joe defeats CM Punk.
Okay.
I don't know if you can put a quash on CM Punk that early in his return. You'd have to do some kind of so much extra bullshit to make it justified. But I wouldn't mind seeing Samoa Joe versus Ricky Starks as the finals.
I'd be super down.
And
Wouldn't happen, but I would be so down.
if Joe was the first one to hand Punk a loss back in his return, it'd be like, are we going to do something with Samoa Joe? I would be so happy.
Oh, if they did.
I don't watch Ring of Honor.
I feel like
don't bring it up.
I feel like they're just kind of, yeah. Other than his Ring of Honor stuff, like they're kind of winding his career down. It seems like. I feel like.
It doesn't help that he was
TV,
doing.
He's winding it down.
But it also doesn't
His
help.
Ring of Honor matches are pretty good. Like 2 that I watched.
You know the Twisted Metal show?
Yeah.
Do you know who plays Sweet Tooth, like the actual body?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Me.
So there's maybe a little bit of, I mean, some of the winding down, I don't know how long it took or when exactly he did that. Imagining in my head right now, Will Arnett's voice coming out of Samoa Joe is still kind of just weird.
It is weird. Because I thought about it after I watched that. And I was like, oh yeah, that was Samoa Joe's body. But that was not Samoa Joe.
I really don't want the extent of what I get to enjoy of Samoa Joe in AEW to be that brief little war show and then the King of Television. Like, it can be so much more.
Yeah, the King of Television thing was fun. I really would love to, I'm with you. I would love to see him get a lot more TV time. Because, yeah.
Imagine him feuding with somebody else who could talk.
I mean, well, I feel like they're gonna give us CM Punk and Joe, like a real feud. I feel like that's gonna happen.
Listen, I don't want to count it as a real feud if I already know the outcome. Which means if it's the first feud and you know CM Punk's gonna win, I can't enjoy it too much. Because it's like us watching Swerve versus Tanahashi. It's like, yay, but
yeah. It's like, yay, Swerve's wrestling Tanahashi, but he's gonna lose.
Yay. Joe's gonna have promo battles and wrestle CM Punk, but lose. Yay. And that's why I'm like, a tournament where it's not CM Punk with the championship. I'm like, if you can have Samoa Joe beat him, do it then. Like, find a way. Screw that man over, please. No.
No, I don't know. I think, but I think Ricky. I think I got my money on a Ricky here.
Right. So
Ricky needs something.
In this kind
he's
of
just hanging in the balance, and he's too good for that.
So, with this kind of in mind, thinking down the line, the next time they have a casino ladder match where the person gets a shot at the title, or the Face of the Revolution, which obviously would happen at the Revolution pay-per-view, where the person gets a shot at like the mid-card belt. Is there anyone that makes more sense than Ricky Starks that you can think of right now?
For the Face of the Revolution.
Either one of them to like be the next person that wins one of those big open things that gets you a title shot.
Okay. If it's a world title shot, yeah, but Mid card title, no. That's I feel like he's been elevated past mid card, so you give him a mid card belt for
feel
what?
like
He's like that's basically the FTW belt.
I feel like if TNT title had it been destroyed,
Yeah,
it'd probably be an easier conversation.
That's the problem. The TNT belt sucks.
Because
Like I like I'm to the point where I feel like they just because they have too many belts, they should just get rid of the TNT belt and keep the international.
Because let's look at some of the TNT lineage. Cody Rhodes, clearly main event level guy, right? Brody Lee, he would have been that same type of guy. Miro,
Yeah, definitely could be that guy. They just haven't used him that way.
Sammy, just was in the main event of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Darby, same main event of that pay-per-view. Then you get to guys like Scorpio Sky and Wardlow.
Yeah, and then they start hot potatoing the belt between Sammy and Darby, and then it goes to Scorpio Sky at some point, and it goes even further downhill from there.
Hey, there's a speed bump in that downhill slope. The king of television.
Samoa Joe's short reign as the king of television. Yeah, yes, we will stand by that. Samoa Joe was the best TNT champion last year, or was it this year?
I feel like it was last year at this point, but I don't remember.
Yep. Either way, he was like the best TNT champion of the last 2 years.
So I know. Oh, that's the other person talking. But wait, no, that's I think on Collision. Christian Cage is going to talk about the title that he didn't win.
Hey, he did. He did. Okay, he's a champion. He even said it. If he says he's a champion, he's a champion. I believe him.
So this is where I'm hoping to have a little bit of hope. Christian Cage gets heat like very few others.
Yep.
If anyone can help rebuild the TNT title, him. Right here, right now. Because Takeshita and Don Callis with their heats off doing other things. I forgot who he said the other person was that gets a good amount of heat.
Must have spread really close to my
he's gonna die. Or hold on, we can go back to little Vince McMahon in the 90s because it draws.
Point my fan outward. Oh,
he's gonna puke. He's gonna puke. He's gonna. Holy shit! You just got entirely green screened. Your whole existence was gone. It smelled that bad.
Oh. Okay. All right. That's better. Woo. That was bad.
What about this
and it
lineage?
was like pulling into my face, and my eyes started to water. Okay. All right. I'm back. Let's talk about wrestling.
So what about this kind of lineage? Christian Cage helps Luchasaurus defend it for a few months against some solid mid-card type baby faces to help try to elevate them. But then you do end up with a Ricky Starks type of situation. And at that point, you can circle back to giving Takeshita his first championship run in AEW. And that way you go from one of the biggest heels in the company with Christian Cage to a pure babyface and somebody like Ricky Starks to another pure like heat magnet with Don Callis and Takeshita. I can't remember who's the other one that we said. Like there was 3 big heat. MJF, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, MJF whenever he feels like it, which is dope, a testament to his talent. That if he feels like getting heat, he's getting heat. If he feels like getting cheered, he's gonna get cheered.
Speaking of MJF, I have a favor to ask of you. And any
No.
heels in the Chicago area, please do not lump the entire Midwest in together with Chicago. We also hate Chicago. And at All Out, when they want to say, can't fuck Detroit, fuck them right back.
Yeah. I'm gonna say to be honest, it's just a sports rivalry because Chicago and Detroit are like twins almost.
It's funny.
And I think that's part of where the hate comes from because the cities are so similar.
So it's funny. I feel like Chicago, it is purely sports based.
Yeah.
But then when you look at Ohio, it should
Ohio
be
just
sports
fuck
based.
Ohio.
It should be sports based.
It's not about sports. We just hate Ohio.
It's transcended to so much more.
Like Michiganders hate everything about Ohio. It's a thing. Like it's like people that don't like sports at all still hate Ohio.
Here's how I think the evolution of the Ohio hate went. Step 1, sports. Ohio State, Michigan, all the other stuff. It's been going for a long time. Step 2,
driving.
Michiganders trying to get the fuck out of Michigan to go on vacation, and Ohio being like 5 hours to drive through of nothingness.
Yeah, like especially so for us Southeast Michiganders, we're pretty much like only 50 miles from Ohio. Like it takes us less than an hour to get out of Michigan, and then when we're in Ohio for 5 hours.
If we're on a road trip, the longest part of that road trip is Ohio. Point blank.
But fields and Christian radio stations.
And a giant Jesus coming out of the earth at one point off the freeway. And continuing with the road theme.
No offense to Christian people, but every radio station, really.
And then number 3 reason I have still bases off of traveling and driving through Ohio, which is it has become abundantly clear and admitted from people in Ohio, if you got a Michigan license plate and you're driving through Ohio, don't fuck up. Do not fuck up.
Yeah, they like to write them out of state tickets. Bastards. Yeah, fuck Ohio.
Ohio.
Fuck them.
I remember, like, legitimately, it might have been, I think Ethan Page said something about it, and a lot of other celebrities, athletes, and stuff. When you come to Michigan, like, literally, if you move here, if you are given a welcome basket, even hypothetically, your welcome basket is going to include a Fuck Ohio t-shirt.
Yeah. I think that's a rule. You move here, you hate Ohio. I don't make the rules. That's just how it works.
Yeah, don't be one of those random people wearing like Ohio State stuff in the state of Michigan when it comes to that week.
Serial killers. Every single one of them.
I'm not even a Michigan fan now, so I'll be like, fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, well, whichever your Michigan school is, you still hate Ohio State.
It's funny. Sensible college sports fans will even set aside the rivalry with the other in-state school to say fuck Ohio State.
Yep. So yeah, we all unite when it's one of our teams against Ohio State, or most of us unite. Some of us still don't.
So the worst part was the one year that I actually had to root for Ohio State, because that's when the Big Ten was terrible at BCS bowl games, but Ohio State made the playoffs, so they had to represent us well or doomed our
Oh
future as
yeah.
a conference.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks is like when Ohio State is the only Big Ten team represented, you're like, shit, you guys have to do well.
So let's go back to a real quick to a wrestling note. But before we get there, if you are watching this video on demand of the stream down the line, well, you made it pretty far in. You might as well go hit that like button. You might as well hit that subscribe button. And if you have Discord, what else should they do, Range?
You should come in there and talk about wrestling with us.
Link in the
Because we talk
description.
about wrestling. Check it. Trust me, we be in there talking some stuff.
So the last kind of open-ended, kind of fluid discussion aspect to this. We found out how they're going to stretch out Adam Cole and MJF.
Yeah, they're going to stretch them like they've never been stretched before.
With that being said, if you're going to have this feud go as long as it does Adam Cole win the title?
I hope so. With an immediate heel turn, but I really hope so. So I really don't want to see him as a babyface champion. But he'll have to be a babyface champion for just a hot minute at least to give the fans a little something different. Excuse me.
Maybe celebrating with his babyface friends in the ring, like the Elite come out to congratulate him after they haven't talked in forever. He takes part of the celebration and then super kicks him all. I don't fucking know. But you know I want to see heel Adam Cole. I just also don't want to see this feud go for 3 months and not have a title change. Usually when you have that serious length, it means something.
I hope so. I kind of feel like you want to keep the belt on MJF for his bidding war story, at least until very close to 2024. So, like at least Full Gear, I feel like you would want to keep it on him.
I would agree with you, because that's where I was kind of thinking. I'm like, it really depends on how much you're going to commit to that 2024.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? They might. This Adam Cole story could be even longer than I think. But I kind of had a feeling that it was at least going until either All In or All Out.
All right, sir. You know I love me some Adam Cole, but if I say more than that in terms of time is too much of one singular feud of him going for the world championship, you know it's too damn much at that point. Then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like I said, I thought it was too much, but I was like, no, it kind of feels like that's what they're going to do. Even though I don't want to see the same feud for 3 months. They're just going to make them be friends for a little bit, and then they're going to be feuding again after.
Because it's literally like 2+ months from today. It's All In.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they had their slight little talking before the match and everything. So you're talking like close to 3 months in total. And there's, unless they do like a special Dynamite in between or a Collision, because it's all about Collision right now.
Yeah, that might be it. They might do a special Collision, or just a Collision in general,
because
since that's the thing they're pushing.
Yeah, so you got Forbidden Door, which is about to happen. All In is, I believe it was August 27th was the date, because there's not another thing on AEW's calendar until September 27th. Not a single thing. Usually there's a Grand Slam in there. So basically go 2 months without anything special kind of happening, then you're gonna have one thing, and then like a month later you would think another thing. I would still expect a Grand Slam to happen.
That's really weird.
It's
probably something that they probably just aren't gonna announce it yet or something. I don't know.
It's just there's that 1 month block where there's nothing. So that's why I'm kind of expecting like it's gonna get filled in at some point.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
I wonder if it's more of a question of like what week can we book Grand Slam there? Like in case there's something going on 1 week or the next or something kind of deal. Or maybe they have to wait out other companies. Where is your events page? I'm gonna scroll down it real quick all the way to the bottom. So September 27th is in Broomfield, Colorado. And then last thing before it was August 27th in London. So if they're going to do that last one being in Colorado on September 27th, but I do feel like, wasn't it around like the 16th or the 18th or something last year? Grand Slam's kind of in the middle, right?
Sounds right, because it was almost, because it was summer-ish still.
September 21st.
Yeah.
Yay, Google.
There we go. Google it.
I mistyped 2023.
But yeah, I can honestly see them somehow making this whole tag team thing last.
He has confirmed that there will be a Grand Slam this year.
Okay.
And it says, well, it's not surprised it's the first time Khan confirmed this was back in April. Will return to Arthur Ashe Stadium. Didn't necessarily say a win, but he did say it. I have seen reports that it was confirmed. But I'm not going to go to some of these other websites because they still base it off of speculation. Like ones that you can pencil in like Labor Day weekend kind of thing. Because I know I've seen sites that still said all out, even though it has not been confirmed whatsoever.
Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed by anyone. Who was that? I think it was Bowens that said that All Out was still happening on Twitter, but that's not like, official confirmation of anything.
I wish you didn't have to necessarily buy tickets so far ahead, because I already told you, if there's a chance of that show ending in Chicago again with CM Punk as the champion, I don't want it. I don't want to be there. I mean, I want to be there, but
right. I know what you're saying. That'll kind of put a damper on the end of the night for you. It's like, great, we go to All Out. Basically, All Out is CM Punk winning the championship night. If we see it again.
yeah.
I don't think he'll win it again, though.
Yeah. That's
not soon.
I mean, you look at the last year, how it was, it kind of makes sense that you kind of want to get back into some of your original plans, but please do not match up the fucking pay-per-views and everything to date exactly like, hey, you're going to become champion today.
Right. 1 year from the last time he won.
So, if I ever have a chance to ask Tony Khan a question in my life, my top one right now, and this does not require him to go into stuff that they don't want to talk about with Brawl Out. I just want to know in general, was the plan always to have MJF wait to the pay-per-view to take his title chance? Or would he have done it at Grand Slam?
I think he probably would have done it at Grand Slam.
I mean, it's in New York still, so it's close enough. It makes all the sense in the world. You just know that was my theory from back then. I don't know if we'll ever have an answer to it, so I want to know.
No. All right, so we need to become big enough to get to a media scrum, so we can be like, "Hey, Tony Khan, bringing up old news here.
You remember that medium scrum from last year at this very same pay-per-view? They'd probably just look at us and be like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out right now. Don't even finish that sentence.
Like, so, how does CM Punk's dick taste?
I don't know how I would be kind of curious to be a fly on the wall in some of those conversations because yes, take away out everything else, he just like emasculated Tony Khan right next to him, and that I don't.
Yeah, I felt bad looking at Tony Khan. He was just like, I'm getting cooked. He's just sitting there getting cooked.
Who here in this conversation could do that to their boss and still have a job?
Not I.
Nobody's raising their hands on that one.
Mm-mm.
Dude, there's not even many like athletes in sports that can do it. Yo, if you're a middle of the road wide receiver, like let's say Jamison Williams went and said that shit to Sheila Ford, he might be out the fucking door.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes can say whatever the fuck he wants to anyone he wants in Kansas City, and they will still slide it right in their mouth and say, thank you very much, Patrick.
Yeah. Well, it's who you are, and CM Punk is that guy.
You think
like he's the biggest draw they have, and they're gonna keep going with it.
Tony Khan took it like Kenny Omega drinking water out of a bottle. Kitty
water bottle. I need a water bottle. John Silver walks in and he's just like, nice technique.
I realized I was going directly at the camera. You couldn't really see it so much. Being said, I did make a promise and attempt for each of us to be able to kind of be old men and get to bed at a decent time. It is right around that time of the target goal. We got to have free flow conversation that we didn't have to worry about where it goes. Allows us to go off on tangent. If only there was people there, sit there, have this conversation with us. Come on, we miss you. We love you. Where's AEW? We haven't seen you pop in the live stream in a while.
Hey, yeah, where are you? Say hey.
To be fair, I think they got a lot more personalities to handle backstage right now again.
Oh yeah.
So, everyone, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Once again, I completely do not expect us to be around again until next week on Wednesday. Now, obviously, I will tell you if something looks like maybe I can make it back for one of the shows or take care of certain things in time for like even Rampage. Are you gonna be home on Friday night?
I don't have any plans, so
we'll keep in contact in case you do have any plans pop up or anything. But yeah, if you see us, it's a surprise and rejoice. Talk wrestling with us. If not,
yeah.
See you next week.
Peace out. Love you. Bye.